Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Tonight I've got a review for War for Cybertron Siege number 66. This is the classic animation Megatron. He is part of the Transformers 35th anniversary celebration, as you can see right here. Special branding there, 84 to 2019. And yeah, he is a redeco of the previously released Siege Megatron toy, just done up in more cartoonish colors, and has this kind of like cell shading effect going on, which is pretty neat. First time a official first party Transformer toy has done that. Well, along with the Optimus Prime, who was released alongside this. Like that Optimus Prime, this guy's kind of in a weird in-between where he's colored like the old G1 cartoon character, but his robot mode and especially alt mode don't match that character's depictions, so he's not, not going to be seen as everybody's quintessential Megatron. Though, unlike Optimus, this is probably the closest you're going to get, because the odds of them making a Megatron that turns into a realistic handgun in the 21st century is just pretty much zero. But anyway, if you see my reviews, you know how they go. We're going to take a look at Megatron's packaging. We'll get a quick gander at his instructions. And then we're going to see Megatron himself in his tank mode, robot mode. I'll be doing some comparisons, some group shots, all that fun stuff. And then at the end, I'll give my final thoughts. So like I said, Megatron does come in some special packaging. So there's a lot more red on it this time around. And you can see it's emblazoned, big old 35. Now normally this is where the character's art is. However, on these packages, it's over here. And it's pretty neat to see because it's got this really cool, it looks like a CGI render of the character, but using, a lot of hard lines like it's an animated character. And it's just really neat to see. And actually, kind of reminds me of the old hand-drawn artwork, especially in the 2003 Universe toy line era. Bold lines and flat colors. So interesting to see here. Though it also does very much remind me of the Transformers Devastation video game, which I think is kind of the look they were going for with these toys. Now you get on the back, you can see Megatron in his two modes. Takes only 17 steps to transform, so that actually puts him pretty far down on the complexity scale for a Siege toy, especially at a Voyager price point. Which is, there's some criticisms of this mold that he's a little lackluster, especially compared to the Optimus. But he's still a fairly solid toy overall. And then, of course, you got your little 35 here. Alright, so Megatron's instructions don't offer much in the way of anything new. You get the new 35th anniversary logo. He's Siege number 66 now, so they changed that. Everything on this page is the same as the original, and then the only other new stuff is the fact that his weapon names are now written in ancient Autobot alphabet instead of just plain English. And here's Megatron in his tank mode, and this is where you can see the big differences in the coloration. His will become his calf, lower leg areas are done in a dark gray instead of a black. The front treads, instead of being black, are now the same light gray as the rest of his body. You can see his cannon has a lot less color detail, and now it's just a straight black color, which works for the whole cartoon aesthetic. And then you can just see this cartoony cell-shaded striping all throughout and shading, and it just makes for a very neat looking tank. Let's see, peekaboo. And here is the regular version of Megatron, so you can see the difference. See, the gray is much lighter. This guy's got a lot more paint apps on the cannon. This is all black as opposed to light gray and dark gray. And they just kind of give off two very different vibes. This definitely looks like something you'd see on a Saturday morning cartoon. This looks like something adult collectors would have from their Warhammer set or something, but it's just very gritty, very dark looking. So they have two very contrasting looks to them despite being, the same mold. Which is good, right? That's what you want. You don't want to feel like the same exact thing. You'll also notice that these yellow painted headlights, wherever they are not present on this version of the mold too. So, there's that. All right, now here we have Megatron's robot mode. And this, I think, nails his look perfectly. As far as the grays used, the light gray and the dark gray, the nice pastel coloring of his abdomen details here. I mean, he looks like cartoon Megatron. Probably look better if I flip those down too. Now he looks even more like cartoon Megatron. And, you can only get so accurate with a modern Megatron toy purely because Megatron can no longer turn into a realistic gun. So obviously the alt mode had to change, and because of that, he's got the back kibble from the treads going on that you can't do anything with. But they at least made them the same gray color as the rest of his body so they don't stand out as much as they do in the retail toy. So that's, a pretty neat little trick there. And I get that, it's unfortunate, but his situation bothers me less than the cartoon colors Optimus does. Because that Optimus, they had the opportunity to use a more accurate vehicle mode and they didn't go that route. Whereas in his case, they can't, so it's more excusable. However, if you want to really increase the cartoon accuracy, you could always take that little extra weapon that came with the Siege Sound Wave or Sound Blaster. Doesn't matter which one because they're both the same color. And you can plug that in Megatron's back here. Give him that little silencer thing that hangs off his back. Now it doesn't color match to his grays as well as it does on the retail Megatron, but it is something you can do if you want to really complete that G1 look. Again, entirely optional, but it does make for really nice looking cartoon Megatron. Now here's the retail Megatron again for comparison, and you can see these are two very different takes on the character. You have, more realistically textured, closer in coloration to the toy, the G1 toy, retail version here, much grittier looking, and then you have this very hyper cartoonish version. Now, on the Optimus review, I was very much in favor of the regular version. Like, hands down, wasn't even a competition. This I'm a little more torn on, because, I don't know, there's not one I really think is better. He's very cool and fits the Siege aesthetic very, very well. But he looks amazing. I mean, he looks like he jumped right out of the cartoon, and I can't hate on him. I think he pulled off the cell shading a lot better than the Optimus toy did. So I'm much more torn on this one, and I think it really comes down more to just a matter of personal taste. Or if you have a preconceived preference already as far as toy accuracy, cartoon accuracy, that's gonna play into it. But yeah, I think this guy compares to his normal version much more favorably than Optimus does. And here's our two heavy hitters ready to slug it out through the ages. You got both Optimus Prime and Megatron in their cartoon colors, shown here as a pair, just so you can see, what they look like as a set. And, I think they look quite handsome together. I think for people that are really going for that 80s cartoon look, you really need both of them to complete the set. You just want to get the full experience. And I think anyone that wants us bad enough to put the investment down on both will be very happy they did, and they'll have a really nice display there on their shelf. All right, and this pretty much sums up my review of the new Animation Colors Megatron from the Siege 35th anniversary celebration. One thing I keep forgetting to mention, it's driving me nuts, so I'm going to mention it now. So on my copy, there's a big tolerance issue. This right ankle here just flops. It has no friction whatsoever. And I like to think that's just kind of a freak accident. They don't all have that. So just be wary of that. Luckily, the other ankle has plenty of friction, so it keeps this one at bay when it comes to posing him. So that is unfortunate. On the plus side, though, his wrist hinges are a bit tighter than on the regular version, so you don't have his wrists kind of flopping around as much. So, pros and cons. But yeah, my final thoughts on this guy, like I said, I think he pulls off the animation look a lot better than Optimus Prime does. And I wouldn't blame anybody for picking this version up over the other one because he just looks very, very nice. I think they did his colors as well as you possibly can for translating a 2D drawing into a real-life 3D object. So if you happen to stumble across one of these at your Walmart store, or if they come in stock online, I'd recommend picking it up. Even if you have the regular version, I think this guy will show you something new that might cause them to win you over. But naturally, that is only my take on the toy. What do you think of him? How do you think he compares to the retail, the regular version of him? Any and all comments are welcome down in the comment section. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to toss it a like, let YouTube know that you do enjoy these little videos that I do. If you want to see more reviews like this or any of my other content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. I thank you all for joining me for this look at the new cartoon-colored Megatron from the Siege Toyline. And with all that said, I will see you next time.